Yeah, and you lose all bonuses from psychic power. So your combat skill is what?
Let me have a look. If I recall correctly.
You can calculate it while I go get some water.
And our combat skill should be 48 at this point.
48. Right. Alright. Let the duel begin.
I'm sort of looking forward to it.
Give it here.
If we win, can I have his coat?
You sure? I will have the sword.
Can I have his crush mouth thing? It will look
Why
nice
would
on
you
my
need-
wall.
What would you use that for?
Vagina dentata, maybe?
Whatever you say.
But yeah, roll the dice.
Will do. Was I supposed to add something?
No.
Okay, 10 then.
Right, so you start off the fight by going Kratos on his divine ass. Launching yourself at the mighty warrior, you evade a swing of his dark flaming blade and a stab from his steaming dagger, and instead manage to What?
His steaming dagger?
Well, it is steaming! All the poison on it is vaporizing in a big red cloud. It's white glowing hot at this point. It said so!
Okay.
And then you stab him! For critical damage. Roll again.
7.
Right. The angry warrior roars and steps out of you, but you manage to leap back, almost misstepping and falling into the void below. Then he swings his massive sword and you dodge to one side, its flaming tip merely scratching you, but the pain from it is still quite serious. You lose 2 endurance points. Then you leap forward when he had swung both his weapons and stab him in his other side.
That armor is pretty thick.
9.
Right. The massive warrior swings again, in a berserking wild fury, trying to destroy you. But you are nimble and manage to dodge around his blows, dancing like a butterfly and stinging like a bee right in his face!
Yeah. For warrior gods to the Dracarum, he should update his tactics as opposed to just wailing away at stuff.
You know, Rana, all enemies in this game wail away at stuff. It's how they fight.
It's too bad, really.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I think it will be very difficult to write a more complicated combat system.
Indeed. That is one of the advantages of more free-form role-playing games. In any case, give me a roll the die again.
4.
Right. Then he swings again, and the massive blade collides with your shoulder, causing a deep wound that starts flowing with crimson blood. You lose 4 endurance points. You step forward, but only manage a slightly glancing blow.
Nine.
Right. Which you follow up with a very powerful stab that managed to penetrate his shoulder arm and make the... Well, you had really hoped it would make him groan in pain, but the warrior god merely roars in fury and comes at you again. Roll again.
8.
Right. He swings in blind fury at you, but you dodge to the side, only sustaining a minor scratch. You lose 1 endurance point. Then you leap forward and stab him in the side.
Okay.
What?
Should I roll again?
Yep.
8. Well, I suppose we don't have the luck that he will just go home.
You run at him and dodge and almost completely dodge under a swing of his broadsword that does manage to nick the tip of your nose. You lose 1 endurance point before you stab your blade into his crotch mouth.
Oh,
Well,
Oh.
he is.
You have won.
now we
Okay.
just have to throw him in the pit of dark flame, if we can find it.
Your killing dick stab sends the warrior tumbling from the stone beam to plummet headlong into the yawning black chasm. A ring of fire bursts around him as he falls, illuminating the distant base of this vast pit, which is filled with a sea of black flame. You observe his fall with a
Oh,
sense.
we just did it.
Yep. You observe his fall with a sense of grim satisfaction, until you suddenly become aware that you're still in mortal danger. The tongue of rock is continuing to roll steadily towards the Dragon Gate, and unless you hurry to enter the glowing portal, you risk being crushed to death in stony coils.
Yeah, well, I say we leg it towards it.
Okay, what's your endurance?
Our endurance at this point is 32.
You rush towards the glowing portal and leap through it just as the retracting cloud of rock reaches the mouth of the Dragon Gate. You hear a crash of stone echoing in the far distance as you fall headlong through a corridor of swirling flame. Your platinum amulet protects you from this fierce conflagration, and it also feeds you with a steady warming of stream of energy, which radiates from the center of your body outwards to soothe your aching limbs. Gunir, roll the die.
Oh, sure. 4.
Right, you absorb 8 points of endurance from the heat.
Okay, that brings us up to 40. But seriously, I get the feeling this is sort of like going headfirst on a roller coaster. So yeah, hooray!
After a short time, the swirling corridor of flame gradually darkens, and you feel the speed of your fall begin to decrease. Then, in a breathtaking instant, your feet slam into hot, cindery ground, and you crash forward to land in a tangled heap.
It would be very funny if it was the face first and then just. I take some amusement in imagining him get hurt.
You drag yourself to your feet and look with mounting dread at the nightmarish landscape into which you have fallen. A blazing vista meets your gaze, a burning dead world of volcanic magma, boiling lava pools, and shifting islets of cinder and ash. The smoky orange sky is lit frequently by geysers of yellow flame which shoot forth from vents in the uncertain ground, and a hellish temperature conspires with a toxic atmosphere to overwhelm your senses. Your initial feelings of dread suddenly deepen when memories of this dark domain comes flooding back to haunt your consciousness. You have been here once before, 4 years previously, when your brave actions in defense of the kind monastery resulted in a mortal combat upon this evil domain against Vaxagor, the leader of Norse dragon army. Actually, it just resulted in you shooting him with one empowered arrow, and then the guy died. He was kind of an pushover. You have wished then never to return to this terrible place, but fate, it seems, has decreed otherwise. You are aware that your platinum amulet is affording you protection from the searing heat and poison of this realm. However, your kind senses tell you that a firestorm is brewing in the skies above, and you fear that the power of the amulet will not be sufficient to save you when this storm breaks. Anxiously, you scan the bleak horizon in search of anything that may provide shelter from the coming storm. The only feature which promises to provide cover is the cone of a seemingly dormant volcano several miles away on the distant horizon. Do you wish to use telekinesis, hunt mastery, or neither?
Telekinesis might be an idea.
Hunt mastery.
Hunt mastery.
Alright, hunt Austry.
You use your grand hunt mastery skills to improve your mobility as you trek across the dangerous terrain which separates you from the distant volcanic crater. However, despite your ability and agility, during this trek you incur several minor injuries, lose 3 endurance points.
Well, ouch.
Upon reaching the crater, you are relieved to discover that its steep sides are covered with hardened lava, dusted with loose volcanic ash. You climb towards the rim, pausing halfway to take cover from the searing hot winds in the lee of a jagged boulder. While you are sheltering here, you take the opportunity to consult the Tome of Darkness given to you by Lord Remoa. Why does it keep reminding us of stuff like that? Does it think we're goldfish? Its metallic pages appear as blank as when you first look through them, but then you discover a page that is now very different. Bold black text stands out from a page that glimmers like mirrored steel. Using your Magna Chi discipline of papmanship, like every other fucking time you looked in that book, you're able to decipher much of this arcane script which fills the page. Did they just copy that phrase over and over again? I think we read it a lot. The text tells of a creature called Huansor, the Dragon Lord, and of his throne of power, which is located within a nest of fire atop the Tree of the Worm. It lists the many acts of evil perpetrated by Huansor during his long existence, for which he has been generously rewarded by Nor. The Dark God has granted him this fiery domain within the Plane of Darkness. It continues at length to describe the creatures that are enslaved to him, which include the Lavas, the Safarin, and the Chugotha. But most interestingly, it reveals his secret name Zeva, which can be used to bind him, and tells of a magical item, the Scarab of the Wingless Dragon, which can be found in the Nest of Fire, and which can be used to effect an escape from his realm.
You know, now we're actually talking about the whole binding and controlling via, true name. It would be sort of awesome to have I can assume either evil or fire dragon at our command.
Remember to take notes of the sword lord.
Yes.
His true name was Sepa, and then what?
You're looking for the Scarab of the Wingless Dragon. So yeah, this book really is a walkthrough. It even includes all the cheat codes. You close the tome and slip it back into your pack.
Wait. Dragon. Where was it to be found?
In a nest of fire atop the Tree of the Worm. And that's with an I.
Is that an innuendo for something?
Probably.
Okay, just continue.
Yeah. You close the tome and slip it back into your pack. From your makeshift shelter, you command a view over the surrounding landscape in which there is nothing that remotely resembles a nest or a tree. All you are able to discern with any clarity is the blazing firestorm which is now sweeping across the charred land. Fearful what could befall you when the firestorm reaches the exposed flank of the crater, you continue your climb and seek cover within the crater itself. Upon reaching the lip of the crater, you discover that the lining of the cone is surprisingly smooth. You look down to the vent and its center, and your suspicions are further aroused when you note that it is perfectly symmetrical. No natural volcanic forces could have created this precisely circular hole, and it prompts you to slide into the cone to take a closer look. When you reach the vent, you discover it consists of a circular platform of carved stone blocks with a well-like opening in its middle. It immediately reminds you of the Tahau Cauldron, a well in the center of the city of Tahau, which gives access to the ancient subterranean city of Zorix, located a mile below its streets. However, unlike the open vent of the Tahau Cauldron, this hole is filled with a shimmering blue light. Your sixth sense detects that the force of gravity is greatly reduced within the confines of this shimmering pool. As you stare into its mesmerizing blue light, you suddenly realize that it is a means of transportation. It is the apex of a magical elevator that could enable you to descend into the vent at a steady controlled speed. Suddenly, a huge sheet of flame sweeps low across the sky. The crater offers you little protection, and its searing furnace heat smothers you, forcing you to your knees. Gasping for breath, you glance up and see that the firestorm is fast approaching. You now have no more than a few minutes left before it engulfs your crater. Your fear of what may lie at the bottom of the shimmering pool are now matched by a terror of being caught up in the approaching conflagration. Do you wish to use the blue diamond?
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Fear of being consumed by the approaching firestorm prompts you to take a swift and decisive action. You step into the well and begin a long descent through a column of glimmering azure light. You feel the diamond in your pocket glowing warmly, and you sense that in addition to your platinum amulet, it is protecting you from the rigors of this journey into the unknown. Looking down through the curtain of shimmering light, you can see the roofs of cigarettes and towers rising up to meet you. Gradually, you slow to a halt and find yourself standing upon a circular dais of basalt rock atop a large, flat-roofed building. Several yards away to your left, you see a squat tower, and to your right, standing at a parapet, you see a horny, skinned creature with wings that glimmer like folded sheets of gold leaf.
It never fails. I swear every time the word horny, it just... okay, what is it this time?
Sorry, what I was supposed to say.
It's okay, Gibbon, it's okay, but...
It's like with those musicians popped up in Bioshock Infinite, and the commercial said that they were the gayest barbershop quartet in the city.
Yeah, and then I actually researched that, yeah, it does indeed mean the happiest.
Indeed. But it's not what I mean in a modern sense. That's what's happening here.
I see. Let us continue.
Your pulse raises when you recognize this creature to be a Lavas, one of Norse deadly minions.